this wonderful Saturday feast. It is called Berlin. We have been discussing since morning today. How do we get to the next steps in our bhakti? So in the morning session we concluded that for us to be really, really happy, we should do one thing. What is that? Those who are there in the Krishna. Those who are there in the morning, we want to take a shot. What was the conclusion? No one remembers. We should be able to establish our connection with Krishna and serve Krishna ahaituki apratihata in a way that is having not a transactional business model with Krishna. It's something which is continuous, having no breaks. Until that step is established, our heart will be always dissatisfied. It will continue to seek many different things, and we keep becoming frustrated again and again and again in all our attempts to become eternally happy. Okay. Now, to drive the point home, Shukadeva Goswami in Srimad Bhagavatam tells this amazing story of a person by name Bharata Maharaja. Perhaps all of us have heard this story many, many times in our lives. Let us analyze and discuss this story from the perspective of establishing our connection with Krishna now. Story is part of Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto. Bharata Maharaj is the son of Rishabdev, and he was ruling these planetary systems. And this plane of existence was previously referred as Ajanabhavarsha. Bharata Maharaj was so great, he was such an amazing king in his ruling that the name of the whole planetary systems changed into Bharatavarsha. He ruled for, as per Srimad Bhagavatam, 1,000 times 10,000 years. That's the number of years he ruled. Anybody want to do a quick math? 1,000 times 10,000. Yeah, that's 10 million. 1 crore in the Indian calculation. 10 million. So he ruled for 10 million years. It's quite a lot of time. So one can contribute quite a lot in that time period, which Bharata Maharaja did. Right? To the extent that the entire plane of existence is named after him, Bharatavarsha. After ruling for such long period, in which he performed innumerable amount of sacrifices, and he was become well-wishing father for the entirety of his ruling population. Eventually he decided that, my time is over. I need to retire now. So Srimad Bhagavatam tells, just like a person who passes stool just walks away without caring too much about what exactly I have evacuated. Like that, he just left his kingdom. With absolute detachment. Of course, we laugh about it, but it's quite a serious matter. Somebody who is ruling the whole, not just Earth, but plane. He just left the planet. In the sense, left his kingdom. Went to a place called as Pulaha Ashram. This is on the banks of Gandaki river. Gandaki river is the place where Saligrama Shila are found. So Bharata goes to this place. He started living in Pulaha Ashram. And he started his full-fledged, focused efforts in spirituality. And as per Srimad Bhagavatam, he would recite the prayers by Rigveda, which are mentioned in Rigveda, targeted towards the Supreme Person, Narayana, who is the energy behind Sun God. So, Bharata was worshipping Surya Narayan basically. And he would recite the verses of Rigveda, especially the Gayatri Mantra and others. And he would just, whole day, would be performing his Agni Karya, different fire sacrifices, and just fully immersed in spirituality. And gradually he started getting advanced in the process of spirituality, and eventually he reached a state of existence which is called as Bhava, wherein a person could be living in this plane of existence but is experiencing transcendental bliss already. It's called as the 8 symptoms which are exhibited in people who experience bhakti like this. The hair stands on end, they cry, they laugh, they roll on the ground. Just supremely ecstatic experiences basically. So the person is still here but is experiencing association with Krishna already. So Bharata Maharaj entered in this state of existence. One day, as he was sitting after finishing his morning rituals, he was sitting for his meditation, for his practice, and he saw that a pregnant deer came. It was drinking water from the river, Gandaki river. So when someone is thirsty, you can imagine how much they would be wanting to drink water. And this deer was really thirsty. And Bharata could observe, Srimad Bhagavatam is very descriptive. He could see that the deer is becoming satisfied by drinking water. And it was getting satisfied. It's very evident, right? Somebody who is thirsty or hungry, when you get your food or drinking water, you don't need a scientific publication to figure out if you're happy. It is displayed already in your face. You become happy, you become satisfied. So Bharata could see, he could observe in the face of the deer that it is becoming satisfied. However, at that time, the huge roar of a lion. I can't imitate lion. If someone wants to, you're free. Chetan would want to give a try. I can't really imitate. But just imagine, right? There was a huge uproar. And animals like deers, they're usually afraid. They don't live in peace usually. They are usually afraid because they are very delicate animals, and they spend their life mostly in fear. Something may come and attack. So while this deer was drinking water, Bharata also already had observed that the eyes are already moving here and there to see if there is anything which is scary coming off. And the moment it heard the loud noise coming from the lion, the deer became extremely aware of the situation now. The death is approaching. So without much time for analyzing, what all it can do, it just jumped. It was drinking water on the shore of the river, just jumped across. And since it was carrying the baby, it was pregnant, it had a miscarriage. As it jumped across the river, it had a miscarriage. The baby just fell into the water. And the mother deer, it's on the other side of the river now, and it became so sad. Just try to put yourself in a situation of this deer now. You're pregnant. Perhaps it's a bit difficult for men. But you can imagine that there is always love which you can exchange with your baby, and this deer had this baby carrying the baby and got a miscarriage. The baby actually fell in the water, and so much of sadness, the mother deer just left the body, just died right there. So Bharata is observing all these things, right? He is just sitting in his practice, but he is observing what's going on. He saw that there was the deer which came, it was drinking water, it was becoming happy, and then the lion roared, and the deer took a jump, miscarriage, deer died afterwards in sadness. So Bharata is, he's thinking now, he also didn't have too much time to think or analyze, what he should do. There is a life in danger. So he just jumped into the water, brought the baby out of the water because the baby was sinking, right? Drowning. He brought the baby deer out of the water. So far so good? Yeah, all good, right? The beauty of this story is that what we have been discussing since morning, unless this relationship with Krishna is fully established, heart is not satisfied. Right? So the moment Bharata brought the baby out of the water and he's holding it, and he started looking at the baby deer now. Small paws, such a beautiful face, and he's enamored. And his heart is just so much attracted now. So he thought, I'll take this to my ashram. So he took the deer, started feeding the grass. And the deer also felt that, this is the person who has saved me, right? There is some sort of understanding, right? It's an animal, of course, but there is consciousness in all beings. The deer understood that this person saved my life. I was about to not drown and die. So deer also started reciprocating, right? So immediately there is a connection, right? From both ends. Quite literal love at first sight. So, and then Srimad Bhagavatam tells that slowly, on a daily basis, Bharata started becoming a bit negligent of his practices. It would become a bit delayed, he would slack a little bit, and in a few days, he totally forgot. And that's the word of Srimad Bhagavatam. You can imagine how strong the attachment could be. In a few days, deer became the focus of life, the baby deer. And along with the deer, now even Bharata is also afraid that some other animals may come and harm the deer, lions in the forest. So he started keeping the deer with him all the time. So of course he continued his practices, but the focus point had shifted. He would still perform his austerities and his fire sacrifices and things. And he had to bring items from the forest, twigs and different materials. So when he would take a break. When he would go to forest, he would literally hold the deer on his neck. Two legs on the back, two in the front. Hold on the neck and take it. If he is sitting for his spiritual practice, the deer would come and would just climb on his lap. With small horns would touch his legs. And Buddha would be so happy. This is the best thing in my life. And he would also reason, it's not that much of a problem as such. I understand that I'm slacking in my devotional service a little bit, but it's okay. This deer has taken my shelter. I'm supposed to be giving shelter. So he would reason himself that this is fine. It's okay to slack a little bit. Ultimately, anyways, I need to give protection. When he would lie down, he would literally put the deer on his chest and sleep. Now Sumit Prabhu is thinking, However, Sumit Prabhu, it's not uncommon. When you eventually get married, when you have your baby, you'll understand that this is real. It's not uncommon. Extremely real. And that's what connections do to our heart. I don't know how many of us have had experiences of this person is the person of my life. You just keep thinking about it. You just can't think anything else. Those who have had love, experienced love, in the beginning at least, you can connect with it. You just can't think anything else. Right? Whole day you're thinking what to give as gift. When is the birthday? Which chocolate? Which rose? Which ring? The consciousness is it just cannot think anything else. It's just latched onto it. Right? And that's precisely what happens. And this is not unnatural. This is not made up story at all. This is a very natural, realistic possibility. And it has perhaps happened to many of us and perhaps will happen to many of us in the future. Right? So Bhagavatam is just putting a pause there. Yeah, before you, and let's just listen to brother's story and then you can continue. You can still have it. But so the need to be connected is a need of the Atma. It has this desire, it has this need. You can't wash it away. You can't just wipe it away that, yeah, now I'm spiritualist. How come to Hare Krishna, I don't need anything else. No, you can't do it. Unless that establishment of relationship with Krishna happens, until that moment, heart is continuously seeking. Imagine Bharata's position. This guy was ruling the entire planet. How many deers could have he got? How many small babies, deers? Innumerable, right? I told you before how he has left the kingdom. Imagine that. It was not fake. He was not fake. He did it honestly. It was very real. Renunciation for him was very real. He left everything behind and went. However, there is a process involved, and until the perfection, it is still, there is still a possibility of heart being attached to something else. So, Bharata now is just is deer conscious. He was Krishna conscious before. He's totally deer conscious. His whole life is surrounding around this deer. Just amazing how it works, but that's how it was. So his whole morning to evening, he's just thinking about deer. Let's take a moment, just to reflect. If we have experienced this kind of longing, if you have experienced this kind of pull in the heart, just close your eyes. Consciously breathe and just think of a moment. Perhaps we have experienced this. Many of us. Our heart is just latched. It is just hooked onto this one person. We just keep thinking the perfection of our life is just to be with this person. Yeah. So, I'm sure you all have had something. Now, Bharata is in that situation now. And to make Krishna consciousness very real, this is exactly how we need to have with Krishna. The same sort of pulling, the same sort of attraction, the same sort of longingness which is there in the heart has to be there towards Krishna. And that's the meaning of Krishna consciousness. That's it. Whole day, whole night, 24/7, entirety of our life, we're just absorbed in Krishna. Right? Krishna tells in Gita, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara. Keep reminding yourself of me all the time. Yudhyacha. You can fight your battle. Last time when we came, we discussed this, how you can do this. How you can cook, I don't remember who was it who told that they make curry the best. And they are the expert curry chawal maker. And it was you? Yeah. Okay. We took this example, how you can make curry if you're an expert dal maker or a rice maker or a paratha maker or whatever, whichever you cook. If you're an expert, you could keep doing it in your hands, but your consciousness could be something else. It could be processing something else. that's the beauty of having a consciousness. It could actually focus on some other entity while you are doing activity. Right? Action has nothing to do with consciousness as such. That's Krishna's calling to us. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara. Put your consciousness in me, but you keep doing your things. Yeah. You're serving in temple, you're working outside, you're a mother, father, whatever, doesn't matter. Action in itself, that's not most significant thing. The most significant thing is where is the consciousness while performing the action. We could be seemingly, in our situation it is so bad that we could be seemingly also doing bhakti, but the consciousness is in something else. Right? We're chanting, but then consciousness is somewhere else. We are serving in temple, we are singing Aarti for Jagannath Bhakti Subhadra, but mind is and consciousness is somewhere else. Right? Mouth is singing. We are in the other spectrum right now. Seemingly I'm doing bhakti, I'm serving in temple, I'm cleaning the temple floor, but just thinking whatever, hundreds of things. Seemingly now sitting and hearing Bhagvatam, but also planning next week and processing last week what all happened or what's going to happen. I'm also looking at the watch. How long more? Prashadam? I'm tired already. So all these things could be going on. That's not Krishna consciousness. But the fact remains that we could do like that. We could be seemingly sitting here, seemingly hearing but not really hearing. Seemingly standing here doing, singing Aarti for Jagannath Bhakti Subhadra but not really being present there. Consciousness is invested in something else. Krishna consciousness means the opposite of it. You're doing everything, whatever it is, the consciousness is latched onto Krishna. It's very simple. And we have practical experience how we can achieve it. It's just we don't know how to do it with Krishna. That's the only thing which we don't know. So, that needs some training. Anyway, it will happen later. If we practice well. Going back. So, Bharata was always afraid. Right? In the morning we were discussing about this. Once there is attachment, it gives rise to fear. If somebody is not attached, fear has no place. Right? If you think about it, fear comes from the simplest place in our heart that we are attached to something, and the fear is basically fear of losing it. Ultimately, that's what it is. Fear means fear of losing. One could be afraid of whatever, but ultimately what fear is the fear of losing something. It could be losing health, losing friends, losing family, losing our own life, whatever, right? So fear is about losing. I have something, I'm attached to it, and I'm afraid of losing it. So Bharata was extremely, he started functioning like this. Oh, I need to make sure that nothing happens to this deer. Yeah. And then eventually one day, his worst fear came to reality. He could not find the deer. Just couldn't find it. Went around, no deer. Went outside his ashram, no deer. He started walking in the forest. He saw all the footprints of the deer. There was no deer. And Srimad Bhagavatam tells that he became a bit crazy. Literally, he became insane. And he started blaming Mother Earth that maybe you swallowed my deer. He looks up and then sees the moon and looks the black circles in there's mark on the moon, right? You can see mark. Look like some animal sometimes. And he's shouting at moon, telling that maybe you took my deer, give me back. Quite literally. He became insane. He lost his mind. He became so out of control that he's like, he doesn't know what to do. And he's somewhere in the middle of the forest now. He doesn't want to go back. He's just searching. He's not eating anything, not drinking anything, just madly behind the deer. Now, we may just think, oh, what nonsense is that? Right? Because we have not put ourselves into the shoes. If we would be in that situation, we would exactly do the same thing. Right? it's not easy. Being detached from all the things which are there and all is not easy. So, Bharata, in that insanity, he left his body, he died. So Srimad Bhagavatam tells that at that point of time, he saw the deer sitting in front of him. It was his mental projection on the deer. He was just so immersed in the deer. Krishna tells in Gita, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavan tijatyante kalevaram. Whatever bhava, consciousness, one leaves the body, kalevara, right? That's the body which one gets next life. So this guy was so much immersed in deer, it was just automatic. He transformed into a deer. He was born in a very different place. But by the mercy of Krishna, this dear Bharat now, he remembered everything. He remembered that I was a great king who lived such a long time, and then eventually I saved this, protected this deer, and then now I am deer myself. So then he left his guardians, his parents, whoever were there as deer, he left them all and started walking towards Pulashram again. So as deer, he came back to the place. And this time, he understood there was one serious mistake he had done in his past life. He was just alone. There was no one else with him. If there were a few friends, they could have gone and told Jaitam, maybe they're just too much. Maybe reduce it a little bit. It's just becoming too much now. Right? So, our devotee friends, and that we were discussing in the morning, right? This is the best gift of Krishna. This is what devotees can do us. They make sure we are protected. If we are in association, if we are also open. So he had lacked that. He was just alone by himself. And when the deer came into his life, there was no one to go and tell that, dear Bharata Maharaj, you have achieved very great length in spiritual perfections. Perhaps this is not what you want to do in life. Now you had enough deers and everything in your past life. You could rule the whole existence here. Perhaps you should be, letting this deer go and then maybe focus on your bhakti a little bit. There was no one like that in his life. So he could never get that sort of feedback that you are going off track. The beauty of life is in the beginning, it may just seem like half a degree deviation. Right? Just half a degree, just a little bit. I'm going like this. Right? If a plane takes off, half a degree deviation can reach a very different destination eventually. Our life trajectory also, half a degree deviation in the beginning. Unfortunate reality is that half degree will become 1 degree, and become 2 degree, and then become 5 degree, and then 10, and then you will not even realize, because you reasoned yourself in the beginning when it was half, when your subconscious mind, Paramatma, whatever you call it, when there was a voice inside which told, perhaps you should not do this. Then you reason, no, I should do this. This is the right thing. Because of this is reasons. Right? There was a voice in Bharata's heart also, but he reasoned, no, this is right. I should do this. So many times we also could do like that. Life offered something, it's perhaps not the right choice, but then we reason. Then we move on. Somehow or the other making sure that yes, that reasoning stays solid. But then by the time end of life comes, we are just in a very different station where we're supposed to be. The attachment is, we were discussing about it in the morning, was Sumit Prabhu's question about happiness. Relationships, happiness because of relationships, this is definitely longer lasting than gross sensual pleasure or mind pleasure, mental platform pleasure or intellectual pleasure. Relationships, they definitely last long, however, will end one day. There is going to be a separation. If we invest our full into a relationship thinking that this is what it is, it's going to be eternal. I'm sorry, there is no relationship in this world which is eternal. There's going to be separation one day. Either you will leave the person, or the person will leave you, or you both will die. So that's unfortunate reality. So it's never the case wherein you existing like this and then you'll continue to exist forever like this in this body. It's not going to happen. Nobody is there like that. Okay? All the best of the lovers, they're all gone. So when the reality is like that, we need to then understand how do I function. Unfortunately, we need guidance in that situation, which Bharata lacked. So in the life of the deer, he understood, yeah, there was this problem in my previous life, there was one problem, so I'll fix it this life. So he went to association. He started living next to the sages. He would just eat grass, dry. He wouldn't even enjoy fresh grass. Just for the sake of existence, he would just eat some dry grass. And very soon he left that body. He died. Then he became human again. Yeah? You're all awake so far?
Yes.
Good. So now we are discussing the third life. So he's a human again. But in this human life, Bharata thought, my God, this is just too much. I don't know what's happening. Right? I was a king, and I became a deer, and human again. He thought whatever is outside is all just just too much entanglement. I better just be silent. No matter what, I'll just be silent. His father was a very, very good Brahmana, but he could just not teach anything to his son. He also had other sons, but this one son, the father could not teach anything. And eventually in that sadness, the father just died. And I can't teach my son. This guy is just behaving like so stupid and dumb all the time. And when the father died, there was nobody to take care of this Bharata, who was termed as Jada Bharata in his third life. He was King Bharata, Bharata Maharaja. He was deer Bharata, and now he is Jada Bharata. In the life of Jada Bharata, he was literally like Jada means somebody who is stagnant, no movement much. You just If somebody would tell him, just stand here, he would just keep standing there. He wouldn't even move. So his brothers, they thought, there is a good use for this person. We'll make him a scarecrow. They would just put him in the field. Just keep standing here. And he would just stand there. No movement. And they would feed him. They could give him good rice, but they wouldn't give him good rice. They would give him all burnt rice. And he would just consume it. For him, it wouldn't matter at all. This guy was living a different existence already. Somebody who is Brahman realized, they live in a consciousness which is beyond the duality of this world. So this guy would, for him it wouldn't make any difference, whatever. And he never hated his brothers for doing such horrible things against him. He would just be there. And one day, there were a group of tantric people, dacoits, who wanted to offer a human as sacrifice to their goddess. They were searching for a nice person to be offered, and they came and saw this nice person. Great, just standing. No opposition whatsoever. They just picked him up and took him. Then they fed him very nicely, gave him amazing prasadam, which Bharata just nicely enjoyed. They decorated him, Bharata just went through it. Put a garland across him, amazing. And then they took him and then put him, I don't know if you have seen in movies maybe or places, there's Bali, Vadhasthana, where you put your neck like this and they chop it. They put him like that. And the principal priest took the sword, head pujari. This is how they would do it. The principal priest's job was to take the sword, offer the prayers for Mother Kali and just cut. And he took the sword. He was about to chop. That time Mother Kali came out of the deity. She was so angry. She chopped everyone's head. And Bharata just went out. No reactions. He went and stood there. Just very well decorated now. And eventually, after some time, there was a king who was going in a palanquin. His name was Rahugana. And Rahugana was going to meet Kapila Muni to get spiritual knowledge. Rahugana really wanted to go and meet this. Kapila Muni is one of the incarnations of Krishna. Bhagavatam 3rd Canto describes his activities. Kapila was he would also teach people who would come to him. So Rahugana wanted to go and meet Kapila Muni and get spiritually enlightened, but on the way, when he was going through with his palanquin, somehow palanquin is carried by 4 people, and one of them somehow is not able to carry anymore. And they were searching for, I need one more guy now. And they found this Jada Bharata standing. And asked him, can you come and help? Yeah, sure, I'll come and help. He just went. He started carrying the palanquin. And then they started moving. And inside, Rahugana started getting jolts. It was like this. Every step, Rahugana was feeling like this inside. And Rahugana was so angry, thinking, what's happening outside? Why are you moving like this? And the 3 people who were carrying, they shouted right away, Maharaj, no, not us. Right? This guy who came new, he doesn't know how to walk. Rahugana shouted, just walk, I'm the king here. Just walk properly. No response from Bharata anyways. Continued to move and the same, like this. Inside he's getting just jolts after jolts. Rahugana became very angry. I'll just come out now and I'll cut your head. You don't understand who I am. I'm the king here sitting. So what was happening was that Bharata was walking and then there were ants on the street which Bharata didn't want to step on, and then he was just jumping here and there. If 3 people are walking in sync and one person is just jumping around, it's not a very pleasurable experience for the person who is sitting inside. So yeah, there was some sense why Rahugana was getting angry. He showed uncontrollable anger. He told, I'll cut your head now. And that time Bharata spoke. So he expressed, perhaps for the first time in his life, my dear king, what you're saying now, you're saying from the position that you're the king. You have no idea whatsoever who you were in the last life, who I was in my last life, and you have no idea who you're going to become in your next life. You have no idea. You're just right now under the illusion that you're the king, I'm your palanquin carrier, and you can punish me. That's all you can understand. Basically our position right now. Right? Of course we are not kings. If somebody asks Jaitam, who are you? Jaitam will look, I'm Jaitam. What else? I'm from Oman. What else? I can do video editing. What else? I can play mridanga. What else? I am studying robotics. What else? I don't know. Right? Or because Jaitam has been a devotee since a very long time, he might have, I'm Atma. But that's just such a theoretical answer, having no realization whatsoever. Right? So that's our way of life. We have no idea of what is reality. We just live in duality right now. We have no idea of what is real. We just don't know. If you start just keep digging, who are you? And very in 6, 7, 8, 10 steps, you will be like, okay, I don't know what it is. What else? I don't know. So the moment Rahugana heard this, he came to his senses because he was also having this spiritual quest. He was going to meet Kapila specifically to get to know about spirituality, to get to know a higher dimensional truths. So he straight away got down from his chariot, came and fell at the feet of Jada Bharata and started telling that, please, tell me who you are. Instruct me in this knowledge. I really want to know. I'm anyway on my journey to meet Kapila, but with great fortune I have met you. So Jada Bharata started telling that, I was a great king 2 lives ago. And this is what happened. Then I was a deer, and now I'm a human. But as such, bodies keep changing. Goal of life is not this. We need to raise above. As long as we just strive towards, Srimad Bhagavatam entire chapter, forest of material enjoyment. If we are just striving towards getting enjoyment, happiness through many different ways, how we can explore, every time we'll be hit with frustration. We will not be able to get real happiness. Every single thing will end up in frustration. Like today, how in the morning we discussed about this 4 or 5 different ways of getting happiness. Gross sensual level, mental level, intellectual level, relationship level. Everything will have an end point. We will be ending with frustration. So whole life we have been just circling around, life after life. Maybe I'll be happy like this, I'll be happy like that, with this, with that, with this person, that person, like whole life. And life after life. While human life is not meant for that. In human life, it's meant for taking a pause and understanding what's going on. As such, lower level of happiness is available for everybody. Prahlad Maharaj tells one doesn't need to really work towards it. Happiness, just like distress comes by its own accord, happiness also will come by its own accord. One doesn't need to really put that much effort in which I don't have any time anymore in life. I can't really be contemplative. Biggest problem with our devotees, I don't have time, Prabhu. So busy. So, we need to really sit down and take a pause. Where is life moving? What exactly is going on? What is the direction of life in which I want to take? Is this the direction which is really giving me the ultimate benefit of having a human body? Like you have a Mercedes Benz, you can use it for plowing. You can attach some instruments in the back and you can use it for plowing. Maybe it will go for some distance. Right? Maybe some crops will grow also. But that's not the best use of Benz. Right? Your Benz will be gone afterwards. There is tractor which is available. You can plow better with the tractor. Human life is not meant for this. Right? As we discussed in the morning, there are other species which are better suited for enjoyment. Somebody is really seeking enjoyment, there are other species. They can exercise much better, enjoying propensities. We can't really exercise that much. Human body is really not meant for this. That's why you keep getting this understanding also in Paramatma. Keep studying from the heart that, why are you doing this? How many times would you like to get beaten up? Every time you are trying to exercise your free will to become happy, you are beaten up, you are defeated, and you think, no, next time I'll win. Our mind is literally like Jarasandha. Every time he was beaten by Krishna, but he would have so much of confidence that no, next time I'll win. I'll win. The mind is like that. Every time I'm beaten with material enjoyment, but next time my mind says, no, this one failed, no problem. Next one. I'll explore this other aspect now. With this person didn't really work out. Better person. Right? So same cycle. So Bharata instructs Rahugana in this science of spirituality, wherein human life has to be focused on achieving something which is not really possible to be achieved in other forms of life. Not in sense gratification. This enjoying propensity is something which is there in our hearts. It is going to be there. propensity to seek happiness is there. It's there as the default state. The only question is, where do I get it fulfilled? The whole teaching from this section of Srimad Bhagavatam is, if until it is in union with Krishna and we are getting fulfilled through Krishna, even a deer can also plug it, can get plugged in and we get fully invested in it, and it's really, really happy situation. However, there will be an ending in frustration. So that necessity or the desire to have this connection with it cannot be with an object. You can't have a relationship with an object as such. You may have some attachment with the object, but you cannot have relationship with object. Amount of happiness which you can derive with any other living being, one other person, right? A living entity, is much bigger than how much you can experience with an iPhone, for example, or a Ferrari or a Porsche, whichever. Right? Object, yeah, you can be attached, but you can't have relationship. It is not as fulfilling as that which you can get with a living entity. However, if we are establishing that with a living entity, unless it is based on with a relation with Krishna, also, this is going to end in severe disaster. Heart will be broken, and we keep thinking, oh, this was a wrong step. So that's the underlying message which is there, right? We need to establish our connection with Krishna, and it has to happen. And this opportunity is there right now in this life. We need to put our efforts in establishing that connection with Krishna. We may or may not succeed in this life, but we'll continue next life anyways. And we need to be careful to be in association. Yeah. So eventually, Rahugana got his enlightenment, and Srimad Bhagavatam doesn't tell afterwards what exactly happened to Bharata, but it is understood that he was perfect already. This was his perfected existence. He was already in connection with Krishna. That's what I want to present today. Anyone want to share anything? Comments, feedback, questions? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for the talk, Prabhuji. A small question. We saw that Bharata Maharaja got attached with a deer, and although he was a devotee himself, and similarly we see in the case of Parikshit Maharaj also, he was a devotee, his entire family was a devotee, but we still see that they still left their family behind for attaining spiritual perfection. And in case of Bharata Maharaj, he got attached to a deer. But if we get attached to our friends or family, if they are devotees, is it wrong?
It's not wrong, but ultimately, in Srila Prabhupada's words, you need to fly your flight. At the end of the day, you need to become perfect yourself also. It can't be just I offload all my responsibilities to let Sumit and Abhay and Vaibhav take care of my spiritual progress. They're all devotees, very nice. I'll just hang out with them. Yeah. They can chant for me, they can do three rounds everyone, right? I'll divide. So, I'll just hang out, I'll just be with them. I'm going to work out. I need to take personal responsibility. And previously, in the previous ages, it was a custom that every single person at a retirement age, they would just go to forest. It was the life was structured like that. So Brahmacharya, Grahastha, and then Vanaprastha would go to forest, irrespective of who they were. Ambarish Maharaj went. Ambarish Maharaj was such a great devotee that Vishnu had given him Sudarshan Chakra to just be there to protect. Right? Ambarish could have told, I already have presence of Sudarshan with me. Why should I go to forest? He went to forest. He died eventually and went to forest. That's how life was structured. Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and then Saja. Right? It wouldn't matter who is that, how is the family situations. So that's the first part. Second part is it wrong to being attached to devotees? No, definitely we need to have devotees, but it cannot be at the cost of our spirituality. Right? Attachment should be on a spiritual level, and we associate on a spiritual level. Cannot be just on, I feel good to be with Sumit. Right? I feel good to be with Jaita. Makes a lot of jokes. This cannot be the reason for association. Right? I need to have something which is tangible. I need to strive, of course, to build a tangible relationship with devotees. But I hope you get the point. Yeah? Hare Krishna. Yeah. Prabhuji is back. I want to share something.
Thank you very much for the wonderful class. So what hope is for poor souls like myself, not to fall into the same trap of Bharata Maharaja, you know? I mean, was he renouncing prematurely? I mean, the deer, and even if Bharata Maharaja falls trapped to, falling for a deer, where's the hope for all other people who have gone through Grihastha life and said, okay, that was a nice phase in life, let's move on. But, I don't want to end up with a deer,
Yeah, so in the case of Bharata, as we were sort of discussing, he reached the stage of Bhava Bhakti, but it was not perfection yet. Right? There is one more step to climb. Right? But Bhava in itself is so beyond us right now that we can't even imagine how advanced he was. Now, Srimad Bhagavatam is giving this extreme level of example to give us this indication that irrespective of which spiritual advancement level we reach, we have to be in association. Right? I can't think that, now it's enough. I had enough association. These people, I know everyone now. I have analyzed them enough. And they're not good enough now anymore. I better be myself. I'll become spiritually perfect. And I'll chant very nicely and because it's just too much to deal with all these people. Just too much. People eventually after 10-20 years might start thinking like that, right? Becoming, ISKCON is too much. I better just be myself. So the most important teaching is that we need to be in association. Second thing, if Bharat, what exactly made Bharat to get that is that seeking which is there until we reach, Bhaktivinoda Thakur tells, the final perfection is absolutely when the living entity is actually in union with Krishna. That's when the absolute perfection. Until then, there is always a chance. Meaning that because the heart is not fully filled, the desire for being connected is not fully addressed yet. Right? So that seeking is always there. What is the heart wanting? It wants a connection. You may think that this was just blind attachment, but this is ultimately there is a connection between two living entities. That's what it is. Right? A deer as a living entity and Bharata Maharaja as a living entity. There is a nice connection between. And there was a good relationship between. The deer also liked and loved Bharat quite a lot. So there was a reciprocal loving relationship, just on a false platform of temporariness. Right? It's real just for the time being, but there is an end. And that's what I was trying to say, that the emotions which we exchange in the loving exchanges which we can have with our friends, families and other entities here, that's the same what we can experience with Krishna. It's the same. It's just that experience is going to be eternal. It's not going to be on a temporary relative platform. It's going to be on an eternal platform. Now, coming to the aspect of what to do as grihasthas and having access to a lot of different things is, I guess, Srila Prabhupada has built this house wherein everybody can come and be a part and advance together. we were discussing in the morning today, one of the goals of ISKCON mission vision statement, which is written by Prabhupada, is together with each other, near to Krishna. Right? Together with each other, even a football stadium also achieves 100,000 people together with each other. Right? But in ISKCON, together with each other, near to Krishna. So that's our goal as the society. And we should also establish that heart and the mood in our community. Right? People feel like that. Yes, I come to temple, I feel connected to Krishna through us. It's our responsibility being here. Prabhupada has given us this shelter. Now we give shelter to other people. Those who come, they feel connected. Yes, I connected with this person, I feel connected to Krishna. We can be the via medium to get connected to Krishna. Not that we eventually become like, oh yeah, I start controlling. Somebody came and then I introduced myself as a devotee of Krishna. Then next thing is I want to control them. That also could happen. But it has to be on a pure loving relationship platform. And I hope I have addressed all different aspects which you were. Thank you so much. Yes, Jaitam? No?
He was just scratching his head.
Oh, really? Okay. Rikesh has a.
I had the same question.
You had the same question. Okay. No one else want to share anything? That's it. Good then? Ruchi? No questions?
Maybe I can ask. Yeah, so it's general related to Bhagavatam. So I think like whenever you come, you always talk about Bhagavatam. So we really like that, and we really see that you have so much love for the studying and reading of the Bhagavatam. Yeah. So my question is like, how can we develop that love?
Very good question. Thank you so much. That's my hope, that I come here, we speak Srimad Bhagavatam, and we give a window for all of us to actually also then start experiencing Srimad Bhagavatam, living Srimad Bhagavatam. I gave Sumit this example in the morning for a different context, but I'll repeat it anyways. If I have a glass of mango shake here, I can start giving a thesis about it. Right? This is so amazing, looks so beautiful, it's so tasty, and mango tastes like this and that, and I can write a book. The only thing which you have to do though, to taste that, is just take the cup and drink. Not to read the thesis about how I'm explaining about this cup of mango shake. So the same way, only thing which you need to do is to take Srimad Bhagavatam in the hand, open it up and start studying. Right? It's very simple. No rocket science whatsoever. Please take the book Srimad Bhagavatam. And you can also take it in your iPad, in your phone, wherever it is. There are amazing apps out there. And online resources out there, so you can just open it up and start studying, start consuming. There's an example of sugar cane. Sugar cane is sweet, irrespective of how you eat it, it's sweet. You bite it in the front of it, in the middle of it, in the end of it, doesn't matter. Right? If you consume sugar cane, it's sweet. Srimad Bhagavatam is like that. You need to start consuming. Now, to be regulated in our consuming, Hare Krishna, is something which we have to really then focus. Yeah, this is, if there is one magic in the world, Prabhu, that's Srimad Bhagavatam. I don't really believe in magic as such, but Srimad Bhagavatam is beyond my intellectual ability to explain how Srimad Bhagavatam changes anyone's heart. This is, it is meant for it. Parikshit Maharaj in 10th canto, just before hearing Krishna's pastimes in his childhood pastimes specifically, he tells this: Nivruttatar Shre Rupagiya Manad Bhavav Shudat Shrotra Manobhiramad. When someone has taken nivrutti, has taken retirement from all sense enjoyment, tarsha, is this seeking, the desire for, I want this, I want that. Right? Somebody has taken retirement from that kind of feeling. So that person can appreciate that Srimad Bhagavatam is the aushadha, the medicine for conditioned life. It's also the other way around. If you consume Srimad Bhagavatam, right? You will get medicine. So your tharsha will become less and less. Ka uttama shloka gunanuvadat puman virajyate vinapashugnath. Who is there? Which person is there who is so foolish, who is not going to take this medicine? As per Parikshit Maharaj, there would be no foolish person who would not take this. Right? Meaning everybody would take this medicine. Now we need to really, I need to keep coming to Berlin and keep telling that please study Srimad Bhagavatam, please study Srimad Bhagavatam, this is amazing. That and keep sharing Srimad Bhagavatam so that it's amazing, right? Like hearing about Krishna can actually give rise to love of Krishna. It's amazing. Right? I'll tell a simple example. How many of us love football here? Cricket? Yeah? Cricket? Football? No one? Football? Yeah? Who is your favorite star? Don't feel shy, just tell it out. Messi. And some people may tell Ronaldo. That's okay. Now, if you are a football fan, then let's say there was a match. Last year there was a match, right? Football, what, last year? The year before? When was it? Football World Cup? This year? Last year, right? Yeah. So there was a football final, maybe year before, I don't even remember when was it. Argentina was playing the final, right? And then those who were Messi fans, perhaps that was the best day of their lives, right? So maybe that day you watched the match live, maybe you watched the retelecast of it, replay of it afterwards. You analyzed Messi's game from beginning to end. You read articles about it. You discussed, how Messi scored goals with your friends. Right? Why? Because you love Messi, right? You don't mind, reading 100 different analysis of, 100 different sports journals. How exactly Messi achieved this? Yeah, you love him, right? So reading about this person is okay for you, even though you know the match, but still you are doing it, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
The match is over. You know the match is over, but still you keep analyzing and you feel joy, right? In doing this. Why? Because you love the person. Now the converse is also true. If you keep talking about Krishna, if you keep sharing about Krishna, if you keep studying about Krishna, you will get love for Krishna. What's the difficulty here? It's so simple. You love a person, you love to know everything about the person and analyze the person. Right now we don't know Krishna, but talking about Krishna, hearing about Krishna, speaking about Krishna, sharing about Krishna, studying about Krishna, reciting Hare Krishna mantra, these things will result in love for Krishna. You will know. Right? This is the converse of what we discussed about football, right? Is the converse. If you know in mathematics, converse. What is converse mean? Sorry, I use sometimes. So anyway, the point is, for a living entity, unfortunately, irrespective of how much the whole world, Hare Krishna Mataji, irrespective of how much the world is wanting to pour their love into these great personalities, they are just not having enough capacity to reciprocate with everyone. Right? They just can't do it. There may be millions of followers and fans for these famous personalities, but they get irritated when their private life is intruded by so many fans and followers. They get irritated. They just cannot handle. See, as such, a living entity even cannot handle followers. You can't handle it. In the morning, we only were discussing about subtle, gross enjoyment. Now this is on a subtle level, right? Just number of followers. People were madly behind getting millions of followers on social media. But if they really come, can't handle it. Nobody can fulfill. Nobody can really have satisfaction. Yeah, I have 1 million followers. I can interact with all of them. You can't do it. If they all come to take pictures, you'll be so tired of it. I just said already. Krishna is the only person who can actually handle that. Okay? The entirety of creation can love Krishna, and Krishna can reciprocate with everyone. The full manner. Okay? He can do it. Give it a try. He will do it. Okay? So that's our hope. Srimad Bhagavatam is literally meant for that, right? The goal is to give Krishna to everyone. That is Srimad Bhagavatam's essence. Not just in wishy-washy way, but ahaytukiya pratihada way. And that will fully satisfy our hearts. Ye atma suprasidati. It will make our hearts fulfilled. In which we don't seek behind other things anymore. And we are fully satisfied. Yeah, I have Krishna. That's fine. Okay?
Yep.
Thank you so much. We'll have one more. Okay, Ruchi. Should we end?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Sure.
So in the morning you said that when we are reading, we should always take some time to contemplate on that. And also, like when you hear lectures from sages, from senior devotees, you understand a different perspective of the verses or the chapters. And sometimes it's so mind-blowing that you're just amazed that, wow, this is such a great interpretation that I could never have thought of. So can you share some tips on how to contemplate and what should we think of when we read? Because sometimes it's just like you read through some chapters and then you realize you are just reading it as a katha but not really contemplating and interpreting it.
I can share what I do. When I am studying Srimad Bhagavatam, when there is a section which is happening, I try to put myself in that situation and then just analyze how I would have reacted, what I would have done. Quite literally, I would just go through a mental journey. Let's say this is what I am, this has happened to me, how would I react, what would I do? Right? And all these characters, doesn't matter whichever it is, you take anybody. Srimad Bhagavatam speaks of so many characters. Rantidev, for example, he was fasting and then he was brought food he was a king, he was fasting, and then he was almost in the verge of dying because he was fasting so much, because he wanted to give good fortune to everyone else, and the food was brought to him, and then a Brahmana came and told, I'm very hungry, can you share the food? And Rantidev gave half the food. And then he was about to consume, and then somebody else came and asked, can you share the food? And then a Shudra came and asked, can you share the food? And then a person came, he was a hunter, he came with his dogs. And he told, can you please share the food? And they shared. And all the food is over. Just the glass of water is remaining now. They're in the forest, right? And this person is about to die now. Rantidev is about to die. And then he's about to just drink water. Extremely low class person who would consider as Chandala is just beyond the Varnashrama system. That person comes and tells, I'm going to die, so much thirsty, can you please give me water? And Rantidev just gave. Right? Now when you study this in Srimad Bhagavatam, yeah, it's a nice story. And this person just kept giving. Right? And you move on, next page. Nothing makes any sense anymore. It's all just okay, fine, yeah. But then there is another way of doing this, and then put yourself in a situation, and then think, how would you react? What would you react? How much distance is there between your existence and your consciousness and Radhidev's consciousness? What exactly that is? And then have an aspiration, have a motivation and enthusiasm to actually, yes, there is a lot of scope for me to improve. Right? And going through these emotions will actually give you good impetus to start, and it should, ideally. If it's making you depressed, so it could also happen. You need some guidance then, but that's not what the intention is. The intention is to understand how limited we are and how long the journey is, and then how do I take some concrete steps so that from here I can reach there. Because these are not some hypothetical stories. These are real people. They live like this. Right? And I'm also a real person. I can also live like this, but right now I'm not in that consciousness. How do I reach that consciousness is the process. Yeah? And that's where contemplation comes into picture. And you need to really take some time. Srimad Bhagavatam's Radhideva story is a few pages only. Right? But then to achieve that sort of consciousness, yeah, in a lifetime. Rajadev prays when he is giving the water to this Chandala, he prays to Krishna that I'm giving my life source now to this Chandala. Please make sure that nobody suffers. I don't want to see anyone suffer. I can suffer, no problem. I want to make sure no one suffers. With this, I'm giving my life force. Let this person be happy with this. So like that, there are so many different characters which come in Srimad Bhagavatam, but the point remains that there is the story of the king, I forgot, one who was helping the Devatas. Someone remember the name?
Muchukunda.
No. Muchukunda is one, but there is one more, who was told that he asked the Devatas after the fight, how much time do I have to live? Katvanga. And this is literally 4 or 5 verses in Bhagavatam. Yeah. So Katvanga helped Devatas. Devatas won the war. At the end, Devatas asked, what do you want? Katvanga told, I want to know how much life I have. And the Devatas told, after calculating, you have 1 muhurta to live. Yeah. 1 muhurta is like 40-45 minutes. Yeah. You have 1 muhurta to live. Now imagine, that's your situation. Okay. You get 1 muhurta to live. What would you do? This is a good contemplation if you really think about it. You have 1 muhurta to live. What all would you want to do? How many people do you want to call? How many Facebook posts you want to put? An Instagram post and maybe live streaming of it? Right? What exactly is the valuable thing then? Right? You have 1 muhurta to live. What would you want to do? Yeah. So that's how we should contemplate. We should really think, okay, fine. What Katvanga did, he did. He just told them, yeah, please take me to a holy place. I just want to focus on Krishna. I only want one favor from you. He was transferred. And then he just focused fully, immersed fully in Krishna. And then he perfected his life. So 4 or 5 verses only in Bhagavatam. But that is not containing the number of, the quantity of verses is not doing justice to what Katvanga would have undergone to arrive at that consciousness. Okay. So if you're not careful, we'll just skip these things. Yeah, one more story. Right? To be attentive. Shushrusho Shraddhadhanasya. To be attentive and careful. Shraddha is sincerity. And to have a lot of sincerity in our approach. Attentive, careful, and sincere. Yeah. That can help eventually for us to get to the next level. So we start with that tomorrow then. Morning? 9 o'clock?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so very much. Thanks for being inquisitive and listening to the Bhagavatam and inspiring me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. Very grateful. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagannath Subhadramaya ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.